Happy Wednesday, everybody. I have a book for you today, and our book is called Oh Say Can You Seed? So we're going to be noticing some information today in this book. So the strategy we're going to be practicing is to be trying to figure out some information that is making your brain go, oh wow, I didn't know that before. So I'll try and tell you my things as I go along of the, oh wow, I didn't know that, and you try and figure out what your oh wow things are for the information. So just to warn you, this book will take a few minutes to read. It's quite a long book, so if you need a snack or a drink or something, you can press pause and go and get that and make yourself cozy, and you can listen to this book and learn some new information. So this is called Oh Say Can You Seed? It is written by Bonnie Worth, and it's all about flowering plants. So you can get your brain ready for learning about seeds and plants. Oh say can you seed? I'm the Cat in the Hat, and I think that you need to come take a look at this thing called a seed. From the giant gum tree to this very small weed, every flowering plant started out as a seed. Plants are so useful to me and to you. Can you think of the ways? I will name you a few. The paper for books and the cloth for your pants came from trees and from cotton. That's two kinds of plants. The grains and the fruits and the veggies you eat, why, they come from plants too. And here's something neat. In deserts and woods and rainforests thick, grow plants that can make you feel well when you're sick. Yes, plants serve us well and fill so many needs, and flowering plants all started with seeds. Just what is a seed? You are wondering maybe. Well, you might say a seed is a tiny plant baby. The best way for you to see just what I mean is to take a close look at a seed called a bean. So you guys can connect to this with your bean seeds that you planted a couple weeks ago. Like all seeds, a bean comes in three basic parts. Thing one and thing two, please bring on the charts. Part one is the first that I think you should know. It's the part that the baby is called embryo. So here's my oh wow. I didn't know that a seed was also called an embryo. Here's the bean seed. To sprout, it needs food like you and I do, which brings us to seed part numero 2. It's called cotyledon. Say, isn't that fun? This bean seed has 2, but some others have 1. So here's another oh wow. I didn't even know how to say this word, so I didn't know that was a part of a seed before. Last come the third part that you need to know. It's the coat, which protects our cute bean embryo. So this is another oh wow, because I knew there was something on the outside, but I didn't know it was called a coat. It's like how you guys wear a coat if you're out going outside. To sprout a bean seed, keep it moist but not wet. Keep it covered with dirt and then see what you get. In 7 or so days comes the part that I love. A root spreads below and a stem shoots above. So I hope you noticed that in your bean seed that you planted. The root part and the stem, and they are different colors. You know which is which. Now, in order to show you a grown bean plant to you, we've traveled in time for some months, maybe 2. So here's a part of the bean plant. So here's the roots. This is the whole root system. Here's the leaf and the fruit. That would be the part you would pick off and cook for supper. The stem and the flower. Thing 2 calls the part above ground the shoot system. Thing 1 calls the part underground the root system. So there's another wow. I knew this was called the root system. I did not know that this was called the shoot system. Interesting. To get a good look at the roots underground, it is better to make like a mole, I have found. Roots are not pretty, they're twisty and hairy, and some roots look even a little bit scary. Roots anchor a plant and help it stand true. Roots suck up the water and minerals too. And roots keep the soil from just washing away. That's pretty important now, wouldn't you say? What would happen if a tree didn't have roots, I wonder? We've talked about roots. We have learned about them. Now it's time we moved on to the stem. The stem is a pipe through which water shoots. It's absorbed from the soil and passed up through the roots. It shoots through the plant, and next, as you'll see, the leaves each turn into a food factory. Just like the rhino is protected with horns, the stem of a rose is protected with, what rhymes with horns? It's on a rose, protected with thorns. Leaves come in all shapes and all sizes. I've found some small and some spiky, some big and some round. Narrow leaves, tooth-edged, wavy edges, smooth edges, lobed edges. But the thing that all leaves have in common is this. They make their own food called photosynthesis. Maybe that's a wow for you. I did know that fact. I'll say this quite loudly. I don't mean to be rude, but plants are the only living things on Earth that make their own food. To do this, plants need water, minerals, and sun. And that's why the daytimes when food making is done. This is the shrink-upper. For your information and also for fun, hop in my shrink-upper and let's see how it's done. What do you think will happen in the shrink-upper? The leaf takes in CO2 through a stoma or pore. It works like a mouth, and that's what it's for. Then the air gets mixed in with the water and sun, and that's how the food-making factory is run. All right, maybe some of you love science and you know what CO2 is. It tells us down below. CO2 is carbon dioxide. So the leaf takes that in. And if you remember what we breathe out as humans, we breathe out carbon dioxide. Here's the sunlight. Here's the stoma. The water goes in. And the carbon dioxide goes through on the bottom of the leaf. And together that will make food. I see by my clock that now is the hour to drop in and say a hello to the flower. Let's see what is happening to the oxygen here. Plants breathe out a gas that we breathe in, which you might remember when we were learning about our lungs. We breathe in oxygen, and the name of that gas is oxygen. Thing 2 has a chart. He will share it with you that shows what the parts of a flower all do. Here's the parts of a flower. There's the pollen grain, the stamen, the petal, the pollen tube, the ovule, and the pistil. In the pistil are 2 ovules. They're unfertilized seeds. The stamen holds pollen, which an ovule needs. An unfertilized ovule will not ever grow, and pollen's the stuff that will fix that, you know. A flower's own pollen or another's, okay, that's where the bees play a role, by the way. To make honey, bees need to get nectar from flowers. They fly and they gather the sweet stuff for hours. The pollen sticks onto their bodies, you can see this little guy, and legs. It falls off, and sometimes it reaches the eggs. So now the eggs are fertilized. An ovule that's fertilized becomes a seed. Around it grows fruit, upon which we need. When we say the word fruit, do you know what that means? It means olives, nuts, grains, plantains, tangerines, and apples and oranges and pineapples too. All kinds of plant foods that are healthy for you. Some fruits are juicy and messy to munch on. Dry ones like nuts are nice just to crunch on. Not all plants with seeds give us edible fruit. Some plants have seeds that look weird or look cute. Burr seeds are hitchhikers. They ride on your clothes. And dandelion seeds sometimes fly up your nose. So maybe you're saying, oh wow, I forgot that those things I blow off of dandelions are actually seeds. Or maybe you didn't know that the burrs you get usually stuck on your socks when you go for a walk are seeds too. Some seeds come in pods that explode like a sneeze. Other seeds may have wings and can fly on a breeze. But whether they stick or they blow or they fly, seeds bring us life, and now you know why. I see the sun setting and here comes the moon. Your mother is calling, your dinner is soon. I hope you have learned from my little seed talk. And now I will climb up this giant beanstalk. That'll be awfully fun to actually climb up your beans that you planted. And that's the end of our book. So at the end of our book, there's a glossary. So if I was reading this and there was a word I came across and I didn't know what it meant, then I could look it up back here and it would explain it a little bit more for me. So I hope you found some wows while you were listening and that now you know a little bit more about plants and you can connect that to the things that we have been doing this week and we'll be continuing to learn about. Have a good day, everybody.